So good morning everyone. Welcome to our maths class and hope all of you are keeping well. In last two classes, I discussed about the limits and I told you what is the meaning of limit and how to use this limit to solve the question. And if I'll get 0 upon 0, then what should I do? All these things I have discussed with you people. And if you remember, I have done one exercise also in first class only. I did some question from the exercise 13.1 and in yesterday's class I discussed and I solved some question where trigonometry identities were used. Now, some more question I want to do from the same exercise, and then after, actually 13.3 is there where exponential and logarithm is there, which is not in our syllabus, so we need not to discuss about it. Next topic is derivative. Let us see that time. If I'll have some time in today's class, definitely I'll discuss about the derivatives, the basic things of derivative, and I can say that the real use of limits will come in differentiation. Even the first step of differentiation will be done by limits only. The first formula of differentiation will be obtained by using the limit only. Okay. So what I am thinking, limit will be an important part of that differentiation, means the calculus. So unless and until we are knowing about the limits properly, I don't think we will be able to prove any formula or any things in a differentiation. Actually, I can't say that we will not be able to do any question from differentiation, because in differentiation too many things are there. Maybe some differentiation we can use formula and we can find, but how that formula has come, to know about it we have to use the limit. Even if it is given in the question, okay, find the differentiation of this function by using the first principle. Now if first principle word will come, it means we are bounded to use limits, and then only we can find. So these are the few things what I want to discuss with you people. And but before moving to the derivative, I can say differentiation, I would like to complete that 13.2, and few questions are here. What I want to do, if you remember in a yesterday's class, that asked question was there, question number 12th first. So today I am going to do one question from 13th, then after one from 14 also. 14 and 15, few things are I think same. Actually 14 both part and 15 first part, all these three questions are almost same type of the question. So how to do it, let me start with the question number 13 second part, you can see. And as I told you, it will depend on the situation and time how many questions today I'll do for you. All of you can see it is the question number 13th second part. In 13th second part, it's written there, limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos 4x upon 1 minus cos 5x. Okay. If you remember, I told you some formula yesterday, like limit x tends to 0, sin x upon x, cos x upon x, and tan x upon x. Side by side, I told you that to use the identities, whatever identities we had learned in trigonometry, these identities can be used here to evaluate it. And actually 1 minus sin x, sorry, 1 minus cos x can be written as 2 sin square x by 2, or 1 plus cos x can be written as 2 cos square x by 2. How can we write? Let me tell you. Actually these things can be written as x tends to 0, 1 minus 2 sin square 2x whole upon 1 minus 2 sine square 5 by 2x. Now limit x tends to 0, it's 1 minus 1 plus 2 sine square 2x whole upon 1 minus 1 plus 2 sine square 5x upon 2. They can eliminate. Now 2 can be cancelled, and I am having now limit x tends to 0 sine square 2x upon sine square 5x upon 2. What I am thinking, that numerator and denominator both can be divided by x square, and I can get it's like that sine square 2x whole upon x square, and this one also sine square 5x by 2 whole upon x square. Now limit x tends to 0 sine square 2x upon x square. Here I am multiplying by 4 and here also by 4. Reason is there. I'll explain why I am doing this one. Limit x tends to 0 sine square 5 by 2x upon, it is x square. Here I am just multiplying by 25 by 4 and here also 25 by 4. Why I did it, you can see in the next line. It is limit x tends to 0. It can be written as sine 2x upon 2x the whole square, that is into 4, and this one is limit x tends to 0 sine 5 by 2x upon 5 by 2x the whole square into 25 by 4. This is 1 and this is 1. This can be written as 4 is divided by, once I am writing 4 into 1 is divided by 25 by 4 into 1. Or in other words, I can say 4 is divided by 25 by 4. It can be written as 4 into 4 upon 25, and that is 16 upon 25, and that will be the result for this question. You can see all these things are there in front of you, and hope it is well visible also. So you may see all these things. I have not done anything new. I was just trying to convert this question in the form of sine x upon x whole to the power n. That formula was there, that if limit x tends to 0 sine x upon x whole to the power n, then their value will be 1. That much only I have done in this question. And you have to do like that only. Now, as I told you, that's different type of questions are there. Now, question number 14, first, second, and 15. Here I have to use CD formula firstly to evaluate it. Now, you can see I'm just going to do one question. That was the question number 13, second part. Now 14th and 15th are there in front of us. So from the 14th both part and 13th first part, anyone you may do by this method, and rest you can do, that is up to you. So I'm going to do question number 15th, I think 15th first part, because here x square is there, so maybe you will have some confusion is why it is x square. So let me solve this question. It is cos 5x minus cos 3x whole upon x square. See, first of all, I have to use CD formula in numerator. If you remember, we were having cos c minus cos d is equal to minus 2 sin c plus d upon 2 into sin c minus d upon 2. I'm going to use this formula only. So it is limit x tends to 0 minus 2 sin 5x minus 3x upon 2 into sine 5x minus 3x upon 2 and whole upon x square. So my dear students, you can see I'm taking minus 2 outside and then limit x tends to 0. Here it is 5 plus 3 upon 2 will be 4. Sine 4x. Here 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 upon 2 is x sine x and upon x square. One more line I am writing and then after hope you will get your result. Limit x tends to 0. Sine 4x upon x into sine x upon x. When I'll separate it by the product rule, x tends to 0, it is sine 4x upon x into limit x tends to 0, sine x upon x. And you can see this one will be directly written as 1. It will be 1. But here it is 4, we are not having here 4, so I can multiply by 4, limit x tends to 0, it is sine 4x upon 4x into 4 and that is also 1. So that whole will be 1. And I am having now minus 2 into 4 into 1 that is equal to minus 8 and that is I can say result. Okay, there is no problem in this question. And that was an easy question also, what I am thinking. Comparing the previous question, it is little bit easy. Here we have to use only trigonometry and and now that you may come to know that importance of trigonometry, because sometimes it happens when students are having some doubt in some topic, so they are thinking like that, okay, leave this topic and I can concentrate from the next topic. But in a mathematics, almost maximum topics are like that, which will use in coming chapters. Like trigonometry will be play a very important role in calculus, either in limit or differentiation or integration, everywhere. If we are not having very good command on trigonometry, so definitely we will face problem to solve the question of differentiation and integration also in class 12th. So anyhow, we have to learn all this formula what we have used till now in trigonometry, because this formula will be very, very important for us. And what I am thinking, you must have seen till now in too many questions we are using this formula. Now that question number 15, second part is a little bit that rationalization of trigonometric ratios. So I am going to do this question, and then after question number 16, 17 are something different. Here we have to divide by x firstly, and then after we will get our result. So first of all, that question number 14th second part you can see, and I think that for the 14th second part, yeah, that will be enough space for us to do. Or let me erase it, and then after I am doing this question. It's a 15 second part, limit x tends to 0 under root 2 minus 1 plus cos x and whole upon sine square x. I have to solve this question. Now, very clearly I want to tell you in this question, first of all, we will try to rationalize the, I can say, numerator. And once I rationalize the numerator, so what I am thinking, this question will be very, very easy for us, and easily you can solve this question. after rationalizing it. So let me solve this question by this one. When I'll rationalize here, it is x tends to 0. I can write like that, under root 2 plus under root 1 plus cos x whole upon sin square x and under root 2 plus under root 1 plus cos x. This can be written as 0, and now in numerator you can see we are having somewhere a minus b into a plus b. It can be written as a square minus b square. So here I'll get root 2 square minus 1 plus cos x the whole square and whole upon sin square x. So it can be written as under root 2 plus 1 plus cos x. Okay, and now it is, now you can see limit x tends to 0. So it can be written as 2 minus 1 minus cos x whole upon, and that sin square also can be written as 1 minus cos square x, what I am thinking, because that few things will eliminate here, and it is root 2 plus under root 1 plus cos x I can get. Here I can see it's in numerator I'll get limit x tends to 0 and 1 minus cos x whole upon 1 minus cos x into 1 plus cos x under root 2 plus 1 plus cos x. They can eliminate. Okay, now limit x tends to 0, I am having 1 upon 1 plus cos x into under root 2 plus 1 plus cos x. And now we can substitute x is equal to 0. So definitely I will not get 1 upon 0 upon 0. It is 1 plus cos 0 under root 2 plus 1 plus cos 0. So it is 1 plus 1 under root 2 plus under root 1 plus 1. It is 1 upon 2 root 2 plus root 2, 2 into 2 root 2, this is 4 root 2, and that will be the answer for us. Okay, I've got all these things, and now some other type of the questions are there. Question number 16 and 17 I can say. In both question we have to divide by x in numerator and denominator, and then after we will simplify, and then we can get our result easily. So again I'm repeating myself that in both questions 16 and 17, in numerator and denominator both has to be divided by what I can say x. So I'm doing question number 16 first part for you people, and then after some other type of the question. Question number 16 you can see I'm having one question like first one I am doing that limit x tends to 0 and it's wrote there sine 2x minus 3x whole upon 2x plus tan 3x. As I told you, in 16 and 17 both, we have to divide by x in numerator and denominator. So I am going to just divide it and you can see what will happen. It can be written as limit x tends to 0 sine 2x minus 3x upon x whole upon 2x plus tan 3x upon x. And what will happen? It is limit x tends to 0 sine 2x minus 3x upon x divided by limit x tends to 0, it is 2x plus tan 3x upon x. Okay. Now, when I will divide it in two parts, as you know that if I am having two separate functions and they are joined with a plus and minus sign, so on both functions we can use limits separately. So what I am thinking, it will be sine 2x upon x and minus 3 will be there. Here I can write limit x tends to 0 and 2 plus tan 3x upon x. Now, listen me very carefully. Here I am having 2 and it is 1. So I can write to limit x tends to 0, it's a 2 sine 2x upon 2x. Divided by limit x tends to 0, it is 2 and here you can see it is 3 and here 1. So I can write 3 into tan 3x upon 3x. Now, few things directly I am writing here. When I apply limit on both, that 3 will be always 3, 2 will be constant, as a constant it will come outside, but sine 2x upon 2 will be 1. In the same way, 2 will be constant, 3 is constant, then tan 3x upon 3x will be 1. So what we will have now, 2 into 1 minus 3 is divided by 2 plus 3 into 1. In other words, I can say that is minus 1 is divided by 5, it is minus 1 upon 5 and that will be the result for our question. Okay. Now, few questions are there where we have to use factorization in trigonometry, or I can say simplification in trigonometry, and then after our question will convert in easy form and I can say will convert in a formula form. So that will be really easy for us to do all these things. You can see question number 18 is there, limit x tends to pi by 4 sec square x minus 2 upon tan x minus 1. Only one thing. I think we know very well that 1 plus tan square x is sec square x. So here that sec square x can be written as 1 plus tan square x minus 2 upon tan x minus 1. It is limit x tends to pi by 4 can be written as tan square x minus 1 upon tan x minus 1. It is limit x tends to pi by 4 tan x minus 1 tan x plus 1 10x minus 1, they can eliminate. And when I put here, I'll get 10 pi by 4 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. So what we have seen, in almost each and every question, I just try to remove that reason. Because of that, we are getting 0 upon 0. That much only we have to do. We are trying to remove that reason. Because of that, we are getting 0 upon 0. Now, one more question is there, and that's I want to do, and then after, okay, it will be rest of the question will be easy for us. One question is there, that second part of this question. Here also I am having limit x tends to pi, it is 1 plus cos cube x upon sin square x. Do you know, when I substitute x is equal to pi, I get again 0 upon 0. And now what can I do to save ourselves from the 0 upon 0? You can see it is x tends to pi. Here 1 cube plus cos cube x upon 1 minus cos square x. And if you remember, in starting of the days, I told you we can apply factorization. When I use factorization, as you remember, formula was in a cube plus b cube. The first bracket will be a plus b, second will be a square plus b square plus ab, or a square, minus ab, a square minus ab plus b square. And in denominator, it is in the form of a square minus b square. Easily I can write a minus b into a plus b. So what I'll get here, 1 plus cos x, then 1 plus cos square x plus minus cos x, and whole upon, here also 1 plus cos x into 1 minus cos x will be there, and this one can be cancelled. Now when I'll substitute x is equal to pi, I'll get here 1 plus cos square pi minus cos pi upon 1 minus cos pi. And the value of cos pi is what? Minus 1. So if I'll substitute here 1 plus minus 1 the square minus minus 1 whole upon 1 minus minus 1, that is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1, it is 3 upon 2. So these are the few things what I want to discuss with you people. Now I am going to discuss about the differentiation. What is the differentiation? The first of all, the point is, what is the differentiation? If I am having a function to differentiate at the given point, so what is the meaning of this word? Suppose that I want to find, if a function is there fx, and I want to find the derivative of this function at a point c. So first of all, a few points I want to tell you. If suppose that I am having somewhere fx, so f dash x is the derivative of this one, and if I am writing f dash c will be represent the derivative of this function fx at a point c. And how to find it? Many more things are there to discuss with you people, and that's I'll discuss in next class. Here a small introduction is there. If I want to find f dash c, so how to find it? You can see f dash c is equal to limit h tends to 0 f c plus h minus fc upon h. This is the formula. And now tell me, unless and until knowing limit, can you find it? I don't think. You're not able to find it. If you don't know about the limit, so definitely that our first type question, I can say first exercise question, we will have the problem. One more thing I want to tell you, we are having like that d dx of x to the power n. Means the differentiation of x to the power n with respect to x, or I can say the derivative of x to the power n with respect to x. Now the formula is n x to the power n minus 1. Now if some students will ask to me, sir, how it has come? To tell you how it has come, I have to use the first principle, that is called differentiation by first principle, and in first principle also we have to use limit only. So these are the few things, these things we will discuss in next class. Till there, one thing I want to tell you, that's in last three classes till now I have I took three classes in this semester, and I try to discuss all these things with you people related to limit. And now in next class definitely I'll discuss about the differentiation, and different type of differentiation will be there, and hope that two more classes will be required to complete this differentiation. And after, if once I'll complete differentiation, then only two more chapters will be left in the section A, that is statistic and probability. And after completing this probability, three chapters will be left in both sections, section B and section C. So hopefully I'll complete all these things within time, but your cooperation, your support is also very important things. If you will not solve the question, so I think whatever I am teaching, that will be totally useless. If you will do the practice properly, if you will solve the question, then only these things will be useful for you. So please, you must have seen I have done so many questions in both exercises, but so many questions are left also. So you please try to solve this question, and attend your offline classes to get the solution of the rest of the question. Thank you. Have a good day.